Hi everybody, we're here in Hollymount, the home of the Shelmaliers, 2 days before the county senior football final, and I'm joined by Captain James Cash. James, preparations have gone well for the final. You're here training tonight, probably your last training session. You're captain, great honour for you and for your family.
Yeah, I suppose the lead up to this has been very good. Training there Tuesday night was very good. We got through a lot of stuff. Got the recovery in after last Sunday, which was a tough test in fairness. But yeah, I think things are looking good so far. It's obviously a great honour to captain the club into a county final. Hopefully we can go the extra few yards now and finish it off.
You've played Gussaron in the first round, James. Was tight enough for a long stages of that game. They probably have improved, as have the Shells, and it probably will be a tight game, James.
Yeah, I mean, look at his first match out at the start of the year. You can't really take too much from it. Both teams have changed drastically, as you've seen last Sunday. So I'm expecting a very tight game, very good game. Can't take anything really from the first round, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, and going through the rounds, you've had some tough opposition, and even Bunclody for a long time, you know, they had a good win in the previous round against the Starlights, and you know, everybody was expecting that it would be a tough game.
Yeah, I suppose even through the group stages, like Gussaron and Feather, they were two tough matches at the start. Going into the quarterfinals and stuff, sure, they were all tough matches in their own individual way. We learned certain things from each matches, and we have developed on them things. The like of the Bunclody match there last weekend, they were really putting us under pressure for the first 15-20 minutes and stuff, and we learned lessons from that as well. So hopefully we can put it all together now for Sunday.
And you have lots of leaders on your team throughout, including yourself. Like captaincy is sitting well on your shoulders. You're probably playing the best football of your career, I'd say, at the moment.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it just looked through the team. Sure, the experience that's there. We've numerous county footballers from Brian Malone, Glenn Malone, Owen Nolan, Simon Donoghue. You know, and then even look back to the older lads on the team, like Eoin Doyle is still there around the background. Andre O'Brien is still kicking around. Like, there's so much youth, as well as that. Like Corey Lawler came in there the other day, got a goal against I think it was Barnham when he came on. So I mean, with the youth and the experience, we've a lovely mixture in the club.
Good. Well, the very best of luck on Sunday.
Thanks very much, Martin. Thank you.
I'm joined here by John Hegarty. John is manager of the Shelmaliers team that are in the senior county final on Sunday. John, preparations have gone well for the final?
Yeah, we're pleased. It's a short turnaround from semi-final to final, so you don't really get a chance to do a huge amount. It's get over 1 week's games and look after whatever injuries you have and get ready to go again. So it's a quick turnaround, and I suppose that's what players love.
At the start of the year, you took on the job again, John, with enthusiasm, and that runs throughout the panel. You put a good backroom team together. You brought in a guy from Damien McMahon, has been a huge addition to the backroom team.
Yeah, well, this is, I suppose, we've been together for a couple of years, and we felt that, you know, it'd be nice to have somebody to freshen things up a bit. I know Damien from my playing days. I had many battles with him, both with Baltinglass and when he was playing for Wicklow. So he certainly added a fresh voice and something new, and I think it has added to things this year. But likewise, Darren, Paddy and Garrett they've been around the block and they know what's going on, and I think that consistency is a huge benefit as well. And it's a tight-knit group. You're right, we were back from last year. We felt there was a little bit of unfinished business last year, that we'd gone close. Everything was on a high right up until the semi-final, and we came very close, but wasn't to be. So we felt we would have one more go at it.
And there was a couple of areas on the field, John, that you made a few changes, and one notably to me was that Craig McCabe in the goal. I have to say that, you know, he's a huge asset. He's an excellent free taker if you want to bring him out for a 45, but he seems to be able to find people, you know, pinging his kickouts with precision.
Yeah, and it was something that, I mean, it wasn't that we felt that we had a problem there, but the role of the goalkeeper has changed in Gaelic football. And it's now really a role of a distributor, like you're saying, the kickouts and restarts as they're called. And it is important that you're somebody who's comfortable on the ball, and Craig is a free taker, like you mentioned, and so the kickouts come naturally to him. And look, it's worked so far, but every day you go out, you know, keepers is an enviable job, because it's hard to be the hero, but very easy to be the villain at the same time. But so far, he's done a great job.
But you have a very well balanced team. You know, they seem to be coming from all over with runners. You know, there seem to be gears in the players that, you know, if teams try to slow it down, the tempo of a game, that we're able to adjust to that, but we're able to go through the gears up through second, third and fourth.
Well, they're an athletic group of lads, and I suppose you work with what you have, and the raw material here are certainly, they're fit, they're pacey, and so it's no secret we play a running game, but that's what you have. In other clubs they have different styles, and you know there's often a lot talked about styles of managers or styles of club. You work with the panel of players you have. Certainly fitness is not an issue, and like I say, they do have good pace, but they're a committed group, and so like whether it's coming from the hurling or it's their years together, they're certainly, like I said, they're tight-knit, but they're honest, and fitness is one of their strengths, yeah.
And even though you would be instilling confidence into the team, I'm sure there's no complacency as regards your opposition. Gusran have had 2 tough games, you know, in the quarter-final and semi-final, and nothing will be taken for granted.
Oh, certainly not. Gusran, I laugh when I hear people saying they're a surprise package or they've come under the radar. Gusran are a top team in Wexford and have been in finals consistently in the last decade. They're probably a crew that don't get the credit they deserve, but yeah, they like any team that has come through St. Martin's like they did comfortably, and Castletown the day before that, they're not just to be respected, and it's not just lip service. I mean, any other team that did that would be raging hot favourites going into a final. So they're there on merit. We played them in the first round, and like even though it's only 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, the world has changed greatly because fitness levels have improved, players have found new positions, and there'll be 2 different teams going out. But if you go back to that day, while it looks like we had, you know, a reasonable win, we finished with a goal with the last kick of the game. And other than that, at the last water break, 3/4 way through the game, we were behind. So we're certainly aware of what's ahead of us, and looking forward to it.
Good. Well, with that, John, thanks very much for the interview, and the very, very best of luck to the Shadows on Sunday. I'm now joined by Eoin Doyle. Eoin was captain in 2018, part of the panel, suffering a little bit from injury at the moment, Eoin.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately I've kind of been carrying a bit of a knock for the last while, but hopefully I've kind of done a good bit of rehab over the last couple of weeks, so hopefully see some action at the weekend.
You'll be ready to jump in there if called upon.
Yeah, ready to go now, but as I said, anyone who stepped up has done well and deserves a place. And in fairness, anyone who's been called upon in the 4 or 5 subs every day have made a difference. So again, everyone's just eager to get going.
And from looking at it from the outside in, where do you think things have improved, say, this year from last year, you know, to make that step from semi-final to final?
I don't know. I suppose it's just, I suppose, maybe a small bit of luck or a ball. I said we were only a post away from making a final last year, so it's just maybe a small bit of luck or a break that goes for you as opposed to against you. So.
Yeah, and this group of players, you know, I suppose some lads are just pushing on a little bit in age, you know, and you have a mix of youth at the other end, but a unique set of players that have come through, winning hurling in 2014, football in 2018, hurling again in 2020 and back in another final, so it's a great spell for the Shells. Yeah,
it's a great spell, and I suppose I might be coming towards the end of it, as you probably appreciate it a little bit more. You realise that it won't go on forever, and when you have a good bunch group of lads, you try and squeeze the very last ounce out of it. So I said Sunday will be no different. You'll be trying your best to get another county medal.
And playing for the club, what does it mean to you, Eoin?
Oh sure, it's everything. I suppose we've been at it a long time now, but it's kind of days like Sunday and like past county finals and different things. It just, I suppose, it unites the community, and it's something special, I suppose. And the hunger doesn't get any, it doesn't wane off any bit? No, I suppose when you're lucky enough to experience some success, you just want to get back there and get as much as you can for the short time you are playing. Yes, and great facilities and whatever here, you know, you've been playing here a long time, improvements all the time. Oh, massively. We're just saying that even on a winter's night like tonight, to have the lights and have pitches in such good condition, it's fantastic. And it's just, I said, they've come on huge amounts in the last 10, 15 years.
Well, I suppose with no retirement in mind, Eoin, we'd just like to wish you the best of luck on Sunday, and hopefully you will be called upon and use your experience well.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do our best and get the result we want. So.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a million, Eoin.
Thank you.
I'm now joined by Chairman of the Shelmaliers, Myles Doyle. Myles, I suppose, like any good ship, they need a good captain, and you've been at the helm for the last 4 years, and it must be a great honour to have the Shelmaliers in 3 senior county finals over that period.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that's all down to me now, Martin, but look, the old thing is going really well here at the moment. You'd have to be pleased. We won the football in 2018 and the hurling last year then as well, and we're back in a senior football final again this year. So I suppose in that regard, you'd have to be really happy. I won the hurling back in 2014, so if we could get over Sunday, then you'd be talking like 4 senior titles in the 7-year period, which would be great going, you know.
And a lot of good people doing a lot of work in the club, Myles. I suppose you need that to be successful.
Oh Jesus, definitely. Yeah, we have a really strong committee there. The executive committee running the club, and then you go down to lads over teams and things like that. Like there's an awful lot of work goes into it. There's a lot of really dedicated people here within the club doing a lot of good work, and without that, you'd actually be nowhere. Obviously it's all voluntary. There's people willing. All you want to do is look at the under 5s, 7s, 9s, 11s the whole way up. You have 8 and 10 people involved with each team. It's actually amazing. Even up to the minor grade. The minor grade, there's 7 and 8 lads involved with minor there as well, which is absolutely brilliant, and it bodes well for the future. There's people willing to help and give their time for the betterment of the club, which is great, you know.
And would you agree that there's such a good structure maybe at Cushton and Og that the whole thing on development is to keep producing a couple of underage players each year for your adult team?
Well, that definitely goes without saying. If you could keep bringing 1 or 2 on each year onto your senior teams or whatever, like just to keep it ticking over, that's what it's all about. Luckily enough, we have a strong underage going. We're winning the minor hurling this year, the league and the championship. Strong at under 15 as well, beating in the county final in the hurling and won the football. Under 13's going really well. Lot of people, a lot of chaps there under 11, 9s and the whole way down. So the structure is really good there going forward. All that is all about getting a couple each year onto your senior teams and keeping it going, and I think we're in a good place in that regard.
And back on the field of play, Myles, you know, I just remarking, as you said there, that they've been in finals in 2014, 18, 20 and back again this year. They are a unique set of players, you know, they've given great dedication to the black and amber jersey, and in fairness to them, they're great men to train, you know, they keep turning up, and year in, year out, they're sort of at that top table of quarter-final, semi-final of senior, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's not easy. Like there's a lot of lads who will be playing on Sunday that were there in 2014 as well. So it's like you're talking, like it's 7 years ago. So a lot of them have been there, done that, and the dedication is really good with them. They're a great bunch of fellas there. I know there's newer fellas there now as well involved that weren't there in 14, but a lot of them are still involved there, and we can't complain about their dedication or whatever. They do everything they're asked, and that's all we can ask of them, you know.
And to complement maybe the management team led by John Hegarty, you know, he brought Damien McMahon in there, who had played football to a high level, Garrett Dunn, Darren Chiggins and Paddy McMahon. So there was a good team put together, and in fairness, they haven't been found wanting.
No, definitely haven't been found wanting. We gave John his agenda. We said to him this year, if he wants to bring somebody in to freshen things up, it was up to himself. And I have to say, well, there was he had Garrett, Paddy and Darren from within the club already, and John himself, but he brought in Damien McMahon. I think he might have played against Damien or go back in time or whatever, but we didn't have a clue who Damien was. He came in, he's from Baltinglass there in Wicklow, and he has really freshened the whole thing up. He's a new voice with the lads. The lads took him from the first night. I was there the first night he spoke to him. and the first training session he done, they really took to him, and that has really helped us, and it's helped us to get us there to the final on Sunday.
And sure, with a little bit of luck, hopefully come 4 o'clock on Sunday, we'll be county senior football champions.
But sure, we'll be hoping. It's not going to be easy, because the hardest game we had all year was the group game against Gussaran, so it's definitely not going to be easy, and they're coming strong, they're getting better with every game, so we're under no illusions that we're going to be up against in Wexford Park on Sunday, but I think if our lads could all click on the day, we should be good enough to get over the line.
Very best of luck on Sunday, Myles. Thanks very much for being here.
No problem at all.